You're alive.
I'm glad we're alive.
Good to know.
They are.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Got lots going on.
Sorry.
Hello, Sherry.
Meeting will now come to order. I know, I didn't have it turned on, I'm sorry. The meeting will now come to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for the missionaries in Haiti. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Donna Mosher. Donna. Edwina.
Here.
Susan Muniak.
Here.
Lemaine Eifert.
Here.
Brenda Owens. Barry Burgess.
Here.
Jennifer Smiley.
Here.
Beverly Hasty.
Here. Is it Donna on the phone?
Try again.
Okay.
Donna, can you hear us? Okay. Thank you.
John, proof of notice?
Yes, Beverly, as per your documents in Florida statute, notice was posted.
Meeting minutes, I need a motion to approve or disapprove.
I move that we approve the minutes of of October 1st, 2021.
Hey, Debbie?
Yes, Miss Donna?
She can't hear.
Debbie?
Yes, Donna?
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything that anybody's saying.
Why don't I call him? Sometimes it looks better.
All right, we're gonna try to reach you on the Maze phone, okay?
Here,
We'll call you right back.
here.
Okay, while she is trying to get Donna on the phone, I would like to say, when anybody comes up that's gonna speak, please take the microphone out of the holder so that you can get it close enough so that everyone can hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello?
Donna, it's okay. We're gonna try it this way. If you can't hear, let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to accept the minutes. We need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And we have another one. Correct.
Yes. We accept the minutes of October 8th, 2021.
Jen, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. She can't hear us?
You're breaking up, Donna. I don't know what to do about this. It was just to accept minutes of the meetings.
Tell her to just hang on. Oh,
Hang on, we'll see what we can do.
okay, the art committee, Russell?
Good morning, Russ Rogers, 8224 Laura Del Rio Drive.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Hold the mic.
hello.
Thank you.
The art committee met on Monday morning. We reviewed 17 arts. We approved 16 and sent one back to the, on non-approved. Also, I delivered one back to the person's house, and it was on one we rejected before on the fence on Lower Del Rio Drive, and gave it back to people, and so the fence wasn't allowed, and that the fence wasn't allowed, and also they wanted to paint the door red and the shutters red, but they had no paint sample to what color red they were using, so I just resubmitted.
Okay. Can we have a, excuse me, can we have a motion to approve the 16?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, I have something else.
Well, we have to vote on this one, just 1 second. Excuse me, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Go ahead, Russell.
Okay, I would like to thank the architectural team for volunteering their time to go out to all the villages in our community, close out the previously submitted architectural review changes that have been completed. I feel that the board should take a more assertive role in preparing new residents of the importance of the rules of the architectural review committee. Many of our residents are not aware of the ARC form and will respond with, "I didn't know I had to do that." Yeah.
Can I answer that question for you?
Yes.
Since I'm the liaison to the orientation committee, if they do not come to the orientation, then they don't, we're having a hard time getting people to come. They wouldn't hear the architectural stuff. Because we do go over that. Pat Lazunas does a very good, pays very good attention to what she tells them about that.
Maybe we should send the sheriff after him. No,
I wish we could.
one more thing.
Okay.
I want to thank Debbie and Darlene for all the help they give us in keeping the committee straight and helping the residents fill out the forms and doing it correctly.
Thank you. We still have to vote on the one that was denied.
He sent it.
It was denied. They don't have to vote on it. It wasn't turned. It was denied. It wasn't turned over to the board to go over.
Okay, I thought there was two, sorry. Okay. All right, so we're all set.
Oh, I forgot the most important thing. Well, I can turn 80, you can do that. I want to thank the committee. Name them. Pat W., I can't pronounce the last name, but that's fine. Ron Frick, Lynn Gabowski, and myself, and Lemaine Neifert, who is the liaison from the board. Thank you very much, and Ed Hebner. Thank you for all your help.
Okay, pool deck lights. They're up and running. So we have, the pool open from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. Okay, what's this review of pool hours of operation? Ed, I understand you wanted that on?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we change our hours of operation to 24.
Second. I second the motion.
When was it that way? I don't remember it ever being open 24/7.
Well, I know I've talked to Helen Scanlon, and she said it used to be that way all the time. Numerous people that have been here a long time said at one point it was open for all hours.
Go ahead, Sue.
When I came, which is like 30, can you hear me?
Yeah, speak.
When I came here, which was 13 years ago, it was from 6 to 10. And then it went to 6 to 11, and then it went to 5 to 11. So that swimmers early in the morning. My only concern is whether, for going 24 hours, is whether if it's noisy after, at midnight, 1 o'clock, the people who live near the pool might be upset.
I think we can face that one if it happens.
I don't think there should be a liability issue. It's the same as, it's the same liability as using the pool. As far as the noise levels, most of the complaints we've ever had have been because of the music being on. And the music is turned off earlier, so I don't think that would affect it. So I see no reason not to have it open. We have the cameras out there. The fobs are used to get in or out, so I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how everyone else feels or how the audience, the residents feel.
You couldn't get into the building if you needed to, because that's, the alarm goes on.
No, I don't.
The alarm goes on at, what, 11 or midnight? So you couldn't,
On the building.
right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that can be changed, but I don't see any reason that you would need to. The alarm can still stay on, you wouldn't be able to get in. Those fobs would not, I'm sure we can set it so the fobs don't work. John?
Johnny, you have something to say?
There's an alarm for the exterior of the pool that would have to be adjusted.
Okay, hold on. And Don wants to speak.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what. Yes, go ahead,
Donna, hold on. All right, go ahead.
I say I don't see a problem with it being open either.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, John.
On our end, we just have to adjust, the alarm is set for the around the bathhouse area, there's motion sensors over there that would trigger an alarm, we would have to adjust that.
Okay. Sue?
I really don't see a problem other than I worry about whether we're gonna get complaints about noise. But if we're doing that, why should this building, other than not be fob controlled 24/7, just like the pool? I mean, there are some people who can't sleep at night, might wanna come and watch TV here rather than at home. There might be some people who come, I know there is one person, and I don't know who it is, who comes early, at 5 o'clock in the morning to play pool, to practice pool. I mean, if we're going to open, why not be that anyone who has a fob can be either in the building or, the office is locked. There's nothing that they can do that they can't do during the day. And if something gets, quote, destroyed or whatever, we have the cameras. We have the cameras and they're pretty good at doing it. I mean, yeah.
We could probably save on the alarm cost too, right? If we're open 24 hours.
No.
Why not? If everything's open, what alarms would go off?
The alarm that we have for the pool, if it's not one of us coming in and it's the teenagers trying to get in again, like we had before.
Right.
Then if they get in, we don't want them in the pool. They climb over the fence, or they were going in and doing that. I don't think we should be getting rid of.
If that's the only reason for keeping the alarms, you can have residents coming, sorry. We can have residents coming in and out at all hours, so you're not gonna get an alarm that goes off because teenagers are in for whatever reason, and that is money that can be saved. If the building and the pool are both open 24/7, what kind of alarm is gonna go off that we need people coming back for?
Teenager alarm.
John, go ahead.
So as far as keeping the people that don't belong versus the people that do belong, it's motion. The people on the other end have no way to determine if it's someone with a fob or someone climbing in.
That's true.
Right.
But secondly, we're under contract, so we would have to very well wait to the end of the current contract before we see those savings.
When is that?
I don't know off the top of my head. It probably had an auto renewal, so I don't know where we are in the term, but we can find out.
Okay, we can check into that.
Okay, are there any more thoughts from the board? Yes, okay.
I would suggest Ed, that you revise your motion to include the clubhouse and the pool.
So, okay, I'll move that we go to 24-hour operation of the clubhouse and pool.
I second.
Okay. Do we have any residents that would like to speak about that?
I have no problem. I was just wondering, would that affect the certification that we just got? I mean, the certification based on the hours that we use, no?
No.
No, it should,
Because there was such a hullabaloo about.
No, that's just nights, it's just night certification.
Yes, okay, well, that's
It's already
good.
at dark. Right. It's dark all night.
thank you, Ellie.
Good afternoon, board. Jerry Beers, Monterey, 3326. On that, the pool out there, I think it's a great idea to open up 24 hours for everything. But that contract was a 2-year contract that you signed back when I was on the board. So, and if you guys renewed it, then it would be 2 more years, right? Because when I come on, we questioned it about getting rid of it. And when's the last time that Tim Rhodes got a phone call to go out there because you had kids out there? I mean, because what are we paying, between $500 to $700 a month now for those 3 cameras? So I think it's a good idea by eliminating that. And so, I mean, it could be, and I think, John, when we looked into it, there was something about, we could still tell them not to come in. I mean, the alarm people, but I think there was a buyout thing on it, if I remember right. So just another thought. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jerry, for your input. Okay, do we want to vote on this? On the motion? Okay, Eileen,
I'm not so sure this is working.
You gotta take it off the thing and speak into it, like we told
Can
you.
you hear me now?
No.
No? You turn this off? Joe?
No, it's on.
It's on. Speaking.
you gotta take it off of the thing.
Let me fix it for you, Eileen. Hold it.
Yes.
I don't think having the building open is such a great idea. There's nobody here if someone gets hurt in here. You have records in the building. The pool, we have cameras out there. If anybody slips, falls, you have them for any liability issues. You can see on camera if something happened. And I guess some of these rooms have cameras too, to see if anybody destroys anything. But why did somebody need to come in here in the middle of the night? What's in here that they want to do?
They could go to the library, they could go play pool, they could
Watch
play
TV.
ping pong, they could do anything. We're just saying that, why not have it open?
Okay, I'm just concerned if somebody gets hurt, there's nobody here to help them.
Well, it's the same way between 4 and 11.
There's no one watching the cameras inside or outside after that time.
Or on the weekend.
No, I thought they
Please.
don't have access till later in the day, early morning. What time can they come in here in the morning?
5 o'clock.
In this part?
No.
In any part.
What time is it off?
I thought that was only the gym.
The gym is supposedly at 6. The pool is at 5, but the gym, I don't remember changing the gym to 5, but it's at 5, it's the same as the pool. And if somebody comes and the one person who plays pool comes in at 5 o'clock in the morning and he walks in, comes in this door and just goes and plays pool. But it's the same thing on a weekend, Eileen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Will it change our liability any with our insurance?
Johnny, do you, no, okay. Okay, so let's, take a vote, board, please. All in favor of, Debbie, just reiterate the motion.
To change the clubhouse and pool hours of operation to 24-hour access with fob entry only.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Electrician's invoice. Does anybody want to address that? Okay, you want to address the electrician's invoice or?
No, it's a spammer thing. All right, so the invoice from Man's Electric, and I really don't understand all this. Is this the full invoice
Lady.
The lighting, this is
for
for the
all the
lighting.
lighting
Uh-huh.
that he did? Okay. So it
That he
looks,
didn't do.
he didn't do any of this?
He didn't do some of it.
If you read the invoice, the second part, not only didn't we get the letter, but it says installation, yet in the first part, it includes installation.
He's charging $14.87 for light meter reading with certified letter and installation.
But the installation, read the first part, what it
No,
includes.
yeah, I know, that's what I'm,
Yeah, we're
I don't
saying,
understand why he's double charging for that, and we never did pass light meter or have any type of certification from him.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
Yes, John?
We did come back and do the light meter reading at that stage, but we never, realistically, the only part of this proposal that we didn't receive was the certified letter.
I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that we ever made a proposal that we would pay him for the light meter reading. That was supposed to be, that was what he suggested he would do for us. Donna, wait. It is a separate fee, and he has charged us for it, $1,487. We got no certified, Donna. Donna, can you wait on, when I'm done speaking, we will listen to what you have to say. Thank you. Anyway, we got no certified letter. And what is the installation? The installation for everything else?
if you look at the top, it says, like number 2, furnish and install slip filter for top of pole. And then it supply, number,
An install is put on every one of them.
right,
And then we have a separate one.
the
But if you
charges.
notice, the fittings, lighting, and equipment is $1,694. And then he has a separate one for the installation of $1,487.
So that's gotta be labor included with that,
I would think so.
with the second one.
I see what you're saying. He's saying he broke it down into 2.
Correct. And the first ones, he put down everything he was going to do as far as equipment and installation. And then the second, where the pricing for the billing is, he has it separated to fittings, lighting, and equipment, which is what he put out for the products that are out there. And the second is for the installation.
Okay. So we need a motion on the, Donna wanted to speak.
Donna, you there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, I don't know.
Okay, so there is no extra charges, is that right? The $1,694 is for the equipment and the $1,487 is for the installation only, right?
Yes. I make a motion that we pay the bill of $3,181 to Mans for the work that he did in the pool area.
I second.
Okay. Any more things to say? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Motion carried, Donna.
Pay that bill. Now, let's see. Okay, cell tower proposal. I need a motion so we can discuss this. Go ahead, Sue.
I move that we continue to research by sending this proposal to the attorney to see if there's anything in it that would not benefit us.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any discussion? Go ahead, LeMay.
I think we have done enough research. I think we've spent enough with the lawyers and everything else. We had the town hall meeting. I think most people were pretty adamant about what they wanted. I think we're ready for a vote as far as whether or not to have the cell tower put up.
So,
I was if only on the phone at that meeting. And there were people, more people, I think it was 5, if I remember counting right, spoke against it. There was one who spoke for it. But there was applause on both sides when people were talking. Also, as strange as it seems, somebody started a poll on Facebook. I know that Facebook is strange. And then they took it off when the count was 14 for and 11 against. I'm not saying it's a huge majority that would want it. I have looked at it from both sides. I was over at Bev's house the other day looking to see what the complaints were. And I know it's not the tower, it's the fencing that people would see as well. But I also think that we are passing up, if we turn it down, we're passing up an opportunity to keep our assessments in line. I mean, this building is getting older, maintenance is harder to keep up with. There are things that are coming up in our reserves, which we have money funded for at 2 years ago prices. Those prices have gone sky high, especially our parking lots. I know the parking lot over by the tennis courts are the ones that have caused us the most problems. And I don't know if we'll have, and that is supposed to be, according to the schedule, be done next year. I'm just saying, I know that some people don't like, there are no health risks with it. There are no, it is aesthetics that's the problem with it. And I understand that. But I still feel that we should at least send the contract to the attorney. And I mean, we went to the attorney before just to see if we could do this. And then we need to look at the, I think we need to look at the contract.
okay, I have a different opinion on it. Since I live within view of the tower, which really isn't a problem, it's the bottom part that I'm concerned about. My house is on the hill. You can look right down into where that's gonna be, and I think it's gonna be an eyesore, and the people on Gold Pine also have to look at that. So I'm going to say no. Go ahead.
Sue, you said the biggest problem would be the aesthetics, but I think what sells Timber Oaks when you bring people through is the aesthetics of Timber Oaks. And if I'm going to vote for this either way, I feel like we have to take into consideration everyone's feelings. And although there are some who have they don't have any worries about putting the cell tower up there, those that live closest to it, and they are our responsibility as well, absolutely do not want this. And if I went out after our town hall meeting and looked because it was roped off, the orange was roped off. I could not believe how close it was to some of those houses. And it is not something I would ever want in my backyard. And I think it would definitely lower the prices. As far as the amount of money we get from it, I don't think the small amount of money, which is what, $14,000 a year about, on the minimum, is worth putting that in our property. I just don't see it.
Okay, go ahead, Barry.
Personally, I think that if we vote to put this cell tower in, we're doing a huge disservice to the people in the community, and the future boards are going to have to deal with it. So I say no.
Go ahead, Ed.
I also have it very close to my house, and I feel that what we're doing or what we would get from it is not worth it.
Okay, any other comments from the board?
Donna, hold on. Donna, go ahead.
Yes. And also, one of the big reasons why we were gonna try to put it in is so that the first responders could get better, signal and stuff like that. They're going to get it anyway when the tower is put up, no matter whether it's put into roads or not. So at this point, I want to say
Okay. Did everyone hear that? She's saying one of the reasons that we were considering putting the tower in was so that there were better signals for first responders because they need it. But she said her opinion is that even if we don't do it, someone will be doing it close by, so they will get their signal.
They do already.
Yeah.
So, okay, any more conversation from the board? Does anyone have anything to say from the residents? You only have a few minutes, 3 to be exact.
I don't think I'll take 3 minutes. I think it has no effect on me. I can't see it. They don't give me cancer. Well, they don't give me cancer. I don't have any.
Not somehow, wait, don't break it.
We don't have to put it in that. I'm
Yeah,
standing
just
before
leave it.
you.
You want me to stand on it? Okay, there's not a health risk to it, but it's an eyesore for some people. I don't know why all the people from Gold Pine aren't here. I see a few out there. I only heard 2 people speak at the last meeting that they didn't like it. I see 2 board members up there who it would have an effect on. And I'm not sure that's not a conflict of interest when it comes to the vote. I don't know. Well, I'm just saying. But either way, I said I don't know. But either way, I think as a member of the community, we should support the people who may have a problem with this. It's not going to affect your property values, but you may not want to look at it. And I don't know if this guy submitted, he was supposed to submit something with what it would look like camouflage. And I don't know if that occurred, did it?
I didn't see it.
He didn't. Well, so that's all I had to say.
Thank you. Don't put it back in.
Lay it on the table, please.
Thanks, Kelly.
Hi, my name is Dawn Johnson and I live on Fallen Leaf. It doesn't affect me personally seeing it, but when I bought here 10 years ago, I didn't just buy my home. I bought Timber Oaks. I came through the whole neighborhood of Timber Oaks to see what was here and what wasn't. I actually saw an abandoned golf thing. I saw certain things I didn't like, but I also saw homes that were kept up. An HOA is to help protect my value of my property. Putting a cell tower up, medically speaking, is not 100% proven that it does not cause cancer, number 1. Number 2, it's an eyesore to our community. Number 3, and I said community, not my back door. I don't live right next door to it or anything else. Our community. Number 3, my daughter-in-law sells $1 million homes in Orlando, Florida. It will, the value of your home will go down in the community, not your back door, not the people that are living on it, our community in Timber Oaks, between 2 to 10%. Those are facts. So just because it's behind your house and not mine does not mean it's not going to affect my home too. So I do not want this cell tower at all. You will also see our bird population go down here, which is a very good attribute to Timber Oaks too.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Wayne Mangler. My name is 8514 Winding Wood Drive. On the map of the sheet, under correspondence, you acknowledge my letter. However, you state about our concerns. My letter was not about concerns. My letter was about outright objection to having a tower in this community, and I wish you would correct the records accordingly. There were attachments to that correspondence, and it would add information at the back of it that cell towers do emit microwaves, which are cancer causing. There are a number of health risks, especially to seniors, and they are deadly to people that may have a pacemaker. I don't have one yet, but if I have to keep coming down here and listening to nonsense like this proposal, I may need one soon. I adamantly object to the tower. Property values will go right down the toilet, and I am paying my dues. I have never been late. I do not want these cell tower people paying them for me. Okay, and I have not seen the proposal. I have no idea what guarantee you have that they're not gonna hang all kinds of stuff on that tower in the life of it. And again, it will be here after we are all long gone, and the next board is not gonna be able to undo the mess that you people are considering. So I again adamantly object to having this thing in our neighborhood, and I hope that you will look out for the good of the residents of this community, which is what you are bound to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spangler. Okay. Debbie, would you, read the motion?
To continue pursuing the option of the cell tower proposal after further review by our attorney.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Donna Mosher, is there a second on the motion?
Yes.
Yes, seconded by Jennifer.
I'm sorry, Donna, what?
So we're voting for it or against it now, right?
No, right now we are voting on Sue's motion to look into it further and turn it back to the lawyer. Yes or no?
At this point, I say no.
Ed Weiner,
No.
Susan Muniak,
Yes.
Lemay Nifert,
No.
Barry Burgess,
No.
Jennifer Smiley,
Yes.
Beverly Hasty.
No. Lemay.
Can I make a motion that we turn down the cell tower proposal that was presented to us?
Second.
Okay, another roll call vote for that, please, Debbie?
Yes, ma'am. Donna Mosher,
I agree. I'm six down.
Ed Weiner,
Yes.
Susan Muniak,
No.
Lemay Nifert,
Yes.
Barry Burgess,
Yes.
Jennifer Smiley, Beverly Hasty.
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. We will not be having a cell tower in our backyard. Sorry, I forget to do that. Moving right along, we have the spectrum proposal is on the agenda. However, we didn't receive anything from the attorney, so we will not discuss that at this time. Attorney review, there was a committee. Okay, I was just told that the committee has not met. So we won't pursue that at the moment. The insurance policy update, we have to approve this today because we will have no insurance as of tomorrow. So, do I have a motion? Yes.
I move that we approve the insurance for the clubhouse with Lloyd's of London as was proposed.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Lots.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we were dropped by, who dropped us? Sue?
ICAT.
Okay, and this was the other proposal we had received. Is ICAT still covering anything for us on insurance?
Yes.
Why do we not switch everything over to Lloyd's of London?
Because if you read the letter that was sent by Barrett Insurance, when they went back to re-quote it, their prices for the other areas were how did they put it? Not friendly. They were higher.
Lloyd's of London was higher than ICAT.
Yes, which is why she said leave the outbuildings with ICAT and go to Lloyd's of London.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I think we should review this again and when it comes up again, because frankly, after what they did to us, I'm not really keen on giving them any money.
Whatever you do here, it looks for new insurance for us.
But to make a proposal, an insurance proposal, they knew what they were proposing, and then to turn around 3 months later, cancel us, is kind of real business as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with what Ed's saying, but the alternative is we pay higher just out of spite, basically. And I don't think we have much say on that this year. And the fact that we have to have it done by tomorrow because they dropped us, I'm certainly not happy with ICAT and the way they did it. I think that was planned from the start. I mean, they came in here and looked for anything that they could cancel us. You know, the fans in the kitchen or the old equipment in the kitchen, and the fans hadn't been cleaned. We hadn't even used that kitchen in almost 2 years. So I'm not happy with them, but at this point, I think this is the only alternative we have.
Kelly, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, if I could address the insurance issue, thank you.
Kelly, say who you are, please.
Hi, I'm Kelly Moran, I'm Vice President of Resource Property Management. You are experiencing what every association is experiencing right now in the insurance industry. Condominiums are experiencing a much higher scale. Insurance companies are looking for any reason to cancel your insurance. The reinsurance market has taken so many hits, fires, floods, hurricanes, every building collapses. And the reinsurance market is what insures insurance companies. So there are insurance companies in the state of Florida, right after the Surfside collapse, left the state of Florida. They're not insuring certain risks anymore. They are looking, you're absolutely right, they're looking for any reason not to insure your risk. And they will insure your risk for at least 20 to 25% higher. We're seeing it everywhere. Homeowners associations, condo associations, mobile home co-ops. It's just happening everywhere. We ran last 10, 12 years, on a great market, great insurance market. Flat premiums, reduced premiums, we reaped the benefit of it. Now, just like any other market, whether it be the stock market, the real estate market, now it's the insurance market. You've got a hard market. Nobody wants to write insurance in Florida, and if they do, they want a perfect risk. They don't want your fans to be dirty. They don't want your ovens to, beat a code or whatever the case may be. They're going to come in and they're going to, be pretty nitpicky. They're going to want your roofs up to date, your plumbing up to date, your electrical up to date, or they're not going to write your risk. So you may certainly go to another agent and check with another agent to see if there's better coverage or, other companies, but all independent agents, 99% of independent agents write with all of the same carriers in this area. They go out, they market to all these, the only carriers really that are available in the area that will write coverage. And, they either will decline the risk or they'll give you a very high renewal premium, or they will take coverages away. We've seen them take sinkhole coverage away. We'll give you coverages, we'll insure your risk, but we're not going to insure you for sinkhole. So different things like that. So don't think that it's just about you. It really is happening throughout this industry.
Thanks, Kelly.
Well, we did practically triple our insurance costs this year from what they were last year. So, we paid for that premium already, and now they cancel us, and we're out, what, $15,000?
No.
For the 3 months that they covered us?
No, it was 27,800.
We paid 38, almost 39,000.
Yeah, the difference for the rest of the year is an additional 47,95.15. 4,007 is the additional that we'll have to pay for the coverage for the rest of the year, because the Lloyd's is still just going to go to the same expiration date, from what I understand.
Which is the end of June?
Yeah, end of June. It's not a pretty picture, but we're kind of.
Well, I understand we're stuck with ICAT for this year, but I would hope that we can get away from them in the next.
You may be able to, you may not.
Donna needs to speak.
Donna, you want to say something?
Susan, I need a question answered. Okay, if we were to go back to Lloyd's, and if they wrote this new policy, are they going to cover the gazebo and the tennis courts and all that they didn't cover before?
ICAT said they would before, with our proposal that we had with Lloyd's before, did not cover, I'm not sure if the gazebo, but it did cover like the shuffleboard courts and the bocce courts. And the Lloyd's did not cover the RV lot, which we paid separate policy.
John, you have something to say?
No, ICAT is still covering the policy with ICAT is still in effect. The things they are not covering is what Lloyd's of London, which is the main building here, is a big part of that.
Okay, John's going to speak now.
We had originally gotten two separate numbers from Lloyd's of London. One was remember we did the insurance appraisal. One was a lower number based on the old insurance appraisal. One was a higher number based on the new insurance appraisal, where our total value basically doubled, right? So we got both numbers from Lloyd. This is the higher number for that is current with the current insurance appraisal. And everyone may not be aware, this is not your only insurance bill. We have multiple coverages. All of our coverages are brokered by Barrett, but they shop every form of our coverage, and we've got multiple different carriers that So it's not just ICAT and Lloyd's of London, there's multiple different policies covered. And the second thing I want to say is, Sue, if you want to add that total premium dollar amount to your motion.
Okay. The total premium for that is $27,886.75. We are getting a refund from ICAT, so the difference between the two is the $4,795 that I.
Let's see that. Okay, Dale, you wanted to speak on that?
Yeah, Dale Thompson at Cheetah Drive. Oh God, I started out with one question, now I got about three. Are you saying that as of tomorrow, we have no insurance unless you get a different insurance today? Because that's what it sounded like you just
Yes.
said.
On this building.
On this building.
Why in the world would you wait until the last day? I'm just curious myself what the reason is for that.
Go ahead, Sue. Sue's gonna answer you.
We did not wait until the last day. We had signed an agreement with ICAT that included this building. ICAT, after we had signed it and agreed to it, came out and did inspection of the building. They found a couple of things they didn't like. When they found those things they didn't like, they came back, not telling us when they did it, but they came back and said, we don't like this and this, and we are canceling you as of tomorrow, 10/21.
Wow, imagine if we would have voted for the cell tower. It probably would have really shot us down.
That has nothing to do with that.
Okay, you.
That has nothing to do.
Okay.
So when they did that, our insurance broker went looking for other coverage. If she had found Lloyd's would have been lower for the other buildings, which they still said they would insure, we probably would have switched everything to that, but that's not what happened. When she went to bid it, the only other one that would bid on the building was Lloyd's of London. So we have, we just got this notice, 3 weeks ago, not even 3 weeks ago, is when the notice came to us. So it's not that we waited to the last minute. We had to have the insurance agent go out and look for other coverage for the building.
So you've been doing that?
Yes.
And you haven't come up with anything except for Lloyd's?
Correct.
Now, if I understood what John just said, we have multiple different insurance companies for different items on our property, is that correct?
Right.
And they were all canceled?
No,
Okay, so what exactly do we need? Just the building?
it's this building and everything that's in it.
Okay, has Lloyd's come out and looked at the roof and stuff like that or anything? Or could they possibly come out and say, sorry, no, because of this, and this, that the other company
I
just
don't
said
know.
no to?
We've had Lloyd's before. So
So they could possibly say no or raise the price. That's it.
Thank you, Dan.
Call for the vote.
I'm sorry. After I come.
Speak fast.
We did have Lloyd's of London before. I remember when Jim was here. But that was I'm not correct on that. There was more than one Lloyd's of London. And
we had two different, that I know of right off the top of my head, we had two separate policies with Lloyd's of London.
Right.
We had one for this building and we had one for the RV lot.
But I think there was two separate types of companies or that we got a lower premium by going to, I thought it was one of their subsidiaries.
Madam President, can you have her speak into the mic because we can't hear her?
I'm sorry. Okay. There was a subsidiary of Lloyd's of London. It was still Lloyd's of London, but if I recall, it was a lower premium for us.
Hey, John.
I don't know if that's still available.
Lloyd's has a lot of different companies.
Yeah.
Lloyd's is the company that we just switched from to ICAT, and now we're switching back. So the very first.
But anyway, I don't know if that's available to us or not. And it came through the broker.
Then the broker would have gone there, yeah.
And it's not just on the commercial end, it's also on the homeowners end, because I tried getting homeowners through a different, and
Right.
a lot of the companies are not insuring older homes that were built in 1970 now. They want you to go back to Citizens.
Okay.
It's what, so it's not just the commercial, it's all over. It's a difficult problem.
Thank you, Eileen.
And what was the difference between our old premium and the new premium?
It's $4,795.15.
Increase. That's
No,
for
that's
yearly.
not- no,
No, that's just
not
the
an
difference
increase.
between-
That's the difference we have to pay from what we got back from ICAT to what we are going to pay to Lloyd's of London.
Okay, but I meant for the annual premium.
I don't
I don't have it with me.
We did that.
Okay. But basically, it's a $4,000 increase.
That's just for here. It was over a 22% increase because we had budgeted for a 22% increase. It was over the 22% increase. Part of the reason was because we had a reevaluation of the property. But the other part was because the insurance rates went up.
All right.
Thank you, Eileen.
I just have one question or a couple here. So you got the notice.
Speak into the mic,
You
please.
got the notice like 3 weeks ago that they canceled us out, right?
Right.
Okay, so I own a business.
Into the mic, please.
I own a business and I would definitely get a new insurance broker because 3 weeks is too long. They should know that you need the insurance for the clubhouse because you have people in the clubhouse. So if you're in need to get you new insurance, there's a problem.
Thank you. Okay, let's vote. Debbie, you wanna,
Okay. The motion is to approve the property insurance rewrite proposal from Lloyd's of London for a total premium of $27,886.75.
thank you. Okay, let's take a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And John, you will send that right out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the median island maintenance. Jennifer, that's you.
I don't know if people remember, but last year, we tried to contact the county in reference to the medians. Our primary concern are the two medians, which would be number 5 and number 8 on the map. They're the wooden ones by the old golf course and the one that's between, excuse me? The other one is between Monterey and San Clemente. John has contacted the county and is trying to get that conversation restarted. And that's all we have right now until they respond.
John, you have something to say?
So it's looking like I'm going to have some representatives for the county to come out for a meeting on site next week. And the goal was to talk about median islands, to basically restart those conversations. I think we started at some point last year. And that kind of trailed off January, February of this year. So we're restarting those conversations. It's two subjects. One is median island maintenance and responsibility. The second is drainage issues throughout Timber Oaks, namely Timber Park and the basin across from the clubhouse. So I'm confident that we'll have a meeting on site next week. And so there's some questions for the board to consider now is What is the current board looking for in regard to these two subjects, and how hard do we push the county?
I personally don't feel we should be maintaining the islands. If they want to take them out, that's fine. Right down the pavement, if there's signs there. That's my perspective of it.
Go ahead, Ed.
My feeling is the islands help slow traffic and that they are important in a residential area to keep in place.
So my thought is, I'm leave the islands other than those two wooden ones. Those two wooden ones need to come out. One, they're falling apart. And the one in between Monterey and San Clemente there's another island right by it. And it is just accidents waiting to happen. If they want to leave the others, fine, but we're not going to sign a contract to maintain them. They're the counties. LeMay?
When we discussed this at other times, my understanding was that if we take over maintenance on these islands, we are also liable for them. So if there's an accident, we are the ones who will get sued or be responsible. Is that correct?
Yes.
And seriously, I don't see why we should be maintaining them. It's a county road. Some of those are horrendous. If someone does run into them in the way they are right now, I certainly don't want to be responsible for that. But to take them out completely, we have too much traffic that comes in and out of Timber Oaks, coming in, going from 19 to Little, from Little to 52. I mean, it's constantly. And I know no one wants speed bumps, but we also have, I will throw this out there now, they also have speed humps, which are 4 to 5 feet and don't jerk your car the way the others do. And that's always something we can look at if they remove the island, because it will not be safe.
I don't think we're saying remove all the islands. I think it's just those two that are wooden that are falling apart. Because something has to be done. They are a hazard, those two. Yes, Ed?
Looking at those two, both of them have a big tree on them. And the roots of they're like built up because of the tree. If they took the tree out, then they could just level them down where you wouldn't have to have that big wooden wall around them.
Go ahead, Sue.
That would be just like the ones that are on Ponderosa going towards La Madera, where you have a whole slew of trees, but it's grass all the way out so that it's easier. Personally, I just want the high wood things gone.
Yeah.
If they take the tree out and flatten the whole thing, fine. The one tree is half a tree anyway. It's not a pretty tree. It looks pretty dead. But that would be what I think would be fine. And the rest of the islands stay the way they are.
John, are they threatening to remove the islands if we don't maintain them?
So keep in mind that I've been trying this conversation gingerly approaching the county since probably March of last year. And every time you restart this conversation every few months, it's all new players. This person's been transferred to this department. This person no longer works here. This person was just upgraded from the back of the truck to the front of the truck. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So the position with the last people that we got the furthest with in these conversations was all or nothing. Either we leave them all and you sign a maintenance agreement, or we take them all out and we pave over where they were. So we can wait and see. We can start with information gathering and just update at future board meetings.
Thank you. Okay.
Hold on, Donna.
Go ahead, Donna.
Go ahead.
I look at it like this. The county is responsible for that, just like they are for the ponds that got put in that they're not taking care of. We've got to hold this county responsible for taking care of that. Why should we have to pay for it?
Okay, thank you.
Dale?
Can I answer Donna? Donna, I'd like to answer you, because whoever was in charge of what went on in Timber Oaks years ago asked permission of the county to maintain the islands the way we wanted to do it, from what I gathered. And I've been working on this myself because I happen to live, I back up to Ponderosa. The islands are a big concern as far as the wood around them. My biggest concern is the yard next to me with the two big gigantic trees and the wooden wall that, and I have a picture of it, but I didn't know this was coming up today or I would have brought it. I right now have Jack Mariano's secretary, Sonia, taking a picture of what I'm complaining about because she's also telling them that it is an eyesore. She cuts through a lot to go to work and the wall is coming down. There's boards that are falling down. The one time I complained about it, they came out and said there was nothing they could do about it. If that wall comes out or falls down, it's holding up the dirt that's holding these two big trees up on a great big high mound. If that washes away, the two trees are coming right out across Ponderosa. Unless they fall my way, then they're coming down on my house. As far as the islands themselves, from what I was told, and this goes back a long way, just like the fence, the wooden fence that came down. We wanted it, we put it up, just like we wanted to take care of the islands. Then we didn't take care of them. Now they look like crap and we want the county to take it back over. This is just what I've been told.
Thank you. I have no idea.
Does anyone know if that's true? And as far as maintenance of the islands, are we talking about putting plants on them or are we talking about, worrying about the wood that's
The
gonna fall
water,
down?
the cement that basically goes around is what I had inquired about.
Okay, John.
John?
So keeping in mind that I've only been here for a short period of time, what I do know is, number one, in reference to the tree that she's talking about in the corner with the exhausted wood bulkhead, the county, especially recently, has told more than one homeowner that your HOA documents require each homeowner to maintain to the street. So the county could come back to that homeowner and say, you've got to do something about your tree and your bulkhead. That's very, very possible. They've told, I think there's homeowners in this room that have been told this exact same thing in writing, correct? Yes, Timber Oaks has gotten permits and has done work to the islands. Those concrete curbings around the islands, those were permitted. And the county did give Timber Oaks permits to pour those concrete curbs around those islands. Your documents also do, I don't have it memorized, but your documents do say that Timber Oaks does have the option of maintaining those islands. So the documents give you an out if you choose to do that. My position all along has been, I would not do it if I were in your shoes without a maintenance agreement.
Thank you.
If I remember correctly, because it was just when I first came, Timber Oaks did put the concrete curbs around it's 3 or 4 right in front of the club. A permit. And then at one time was saying, well, you have to paint it a special color yellow, and the paint was extremely expensive, and as far as I know, it died after that. It was a traffic yellow. I might have more information on it. And
Ellie, what John says is true. When we were on the board, Vicki and I went down to the county and tried to get them to put in writing that we would not be held responsible for any accidents, which has been mentioned over and over. And it just doesn't seem fair when we come down to that. And we went 2 or 3 times to just confirm that we could do it. They said, go ahead and do it. Sure, we don't mind. But they wouldn't confirm it in writing, actually. But it is in our documents. It's been in our documents that we can maintain them. I think the big question that John has to, and maybe a whole list of questions that can be answered, indeed, would we be responsible if there was an accident because they are owned by them? If they're willing again to say yes or no, then it is a big idea. I know Patty knows more about this than I do, so I will give the mic to her because She was involved with it before I came on board.
Okay, thank you.
Patricia French Wise List, 13806-7024. This is one of the never-ending sagas that we have here. Yes, we put up the, I think they're called alligators. That was the name of the company that put up the concrete around them. And that was done sometime between 2008 and 2010. To the best of my knowledge, never had an accident. And all the other islands that we've had out there, we've never had an accident. And I would suggest for your meeting, John, getting the president or whatever he calls himself of Three Seasons, because I met with him on other matters for stormwater, and he said he knows how to do it to get permission from the county to maintain them. And they are an eyesore and they are necessary for the traffic. And we do already maintain going out both entrances. We don't own those islands, for lack of a better word, yet we maintain them. Three Seasons mows them and our guys rake them and that kind of thing and keep them looking nice. And I don't see the difference between the 52 entrance and a couple of little spots along the way inside Timber Oaks. And they used to be really nice. After the holidays, people would bring out their poinsettias and just plant them in the islands, and we would have some nice looking bushes most of the time.
Thank you, Patty. Okay, John, are you looking for a vote from us on this? Or just the information?
Just a nudge in the direction.
Well, I think you've got the nudge.
I got the nudge.
Okay. Thank you. New business, fines and suspensions. Sue Muniak, yes, John?
Is there any board members that you want me to stay in the loop about if you would potentially come to that meeting next week?
I can come too.
I'll let everybody know.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Sue.
I'd like to move, I'd like to move to fine the owner at 8741 Woodcrest Drive for the violation of rubbish and outside storage at $50 a day up to $5,000.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried.
I'd like to find the owner at 8741 Woodcrest Drive for $50 a day, up to $5,000 for lawn and landscaping.
Do I have a second? Okay, Jennifer, second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to move that we find the owner at 8105 Merrimack Drive, $50 a day, up to $5,000 for lawn and landscaping.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'd like to find the owner at 10824 Hachita for $50 a day, up to $5,000 for lawn and landscaping.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to find the owner at 10824 Hachita, $50 a day, up to $5,000 for maintenance.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to find the owner at 10824 Hachita, $50 a day, up to $5,000 for lawn and landscaping. This is a separate one from the first one.
Second.
Question,
Yes.
can we do that for the same thing?
It's not the same thing.
It's,
Two separate parts of it.
yeah,
Still 1 yard.
it's two separate violations.
One's about cutting and one's about maintaining the yard.
Well, one says please cut and edge grass, and then the third one that we're doing says, maintenance is required of your yard and or landscaping. This one's watering, chemical applications, weed control, insect, all of that. I think we have, this is $150 we're talking a day, up to $5,000. Is that $5,000 on each individual?
Yes, yes.
And this is an estate. And we've heard nothing back.
Correct.
Hopefully going to finding, we will get something.
Yeah.
Because if they make arrangements to fix it, the fine won't be going into effect.
Right, but
But
still have to go to a hearing.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Did we vote on that one?
No, we didn't. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried.
I'd like to move to find the owner at 8340 Elgin Drive, $50 a day, up to $5,000, and this is for maintenance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I move that we find the owner at 10738 Fallen Leaf Lane, $50 a day, up to $5,000. And this is for concrete driveway and sidewalk.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Last one. I move that we find the owner at 10717 Mira Vista Drive, $50 a day, up to $5,000, and the reason is for lawn and landscaping.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Can I have a quick question on that?
Sure.
Was this the same house that was cited for the driveway? Are we already finding?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black driveway?
No, the lot's
No.
like this high.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a black driveway.
Oh, but this is now for the other.
This is for their yard.
All right, thank you. Okay. Correspondence.
Can I ask something? I don't know if I'm allowed to, but it may help. Since I live on Hachita and he's mentioned Hachita, is that on Hachita all the same house?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know who owns it. The man died, so
That we know.
oh, you know that, you know that.
Yes, we know that.
So you do know it's the actual owner
It's an
that's getting
estate.
the letters, okay.
It's big up there.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question on the last one you just did on Mira Vista, the 107.
17.
Yeah, look at it, the black driveway.
Yes.
Was using like, why, we have in our deed restrictions about we can go in on a property and take care of the lawn and then bill them for it. Is that after, when do we use that? It's in our deed. When do we use it?
I don't think we do use it.
We've used it.
Why not?
And
I mean, this has got ridiculous and stuff like that.
We have used it in extreme cases. We've used it in extreme cases, and
Those people are extreme. Nobody's lived there for 15 years. Now they stopped mowing the lawn and it's gotten, they used to mow it every single week. They put it up for sale, then they took it off the market. I mean, it's a big eyesore.
we'll see what happens after it gets to finding.
John, do you have anything to add to that?
So just in general, and Kelly can probably confirm, so I'm outside of Florida. I wasn't in Florida during the last crash, but prior to the last crash, HOAs, condo associations used to do a lot of that, where they would enter the property and do the maintenance, and they would build the account, and you'd get your money back. After that last crash, you don't get your money back.
Thank you.
I don't, he told me that it was up to the board to decide whether they would do this or not.
I've never received direction to do that from the board, Eileen.
You told me, I'm sure it was unless the board directed you to.
That may be, Eileen, but
I don't know.
to be honest with you, we've talked about this with other properties. You do not get your money back. It becomes just a money pit that we are putting your money into. So until somebody brings it to the board, and even if you do, I don't know that we'd be willing to do that.
I'm bringing it to the board to ask the board to have them mow it, because it is quite the eyesore.
I think you'd have to bring that up under
The next agenda.
the next meeting or at the end of this meeting.
Well, the next. Well, during the finance, I thought I'd.
Right, we have to have it in writing so that we can take care of that. In writing what you want to do.
Also remember, if we start doing that with one property, when does it end? How many
Exactly.
properties do we have that do not
Well, why do we
take care
have
of
it,
what they're
why do we have
supposed
it
to?
in a deed?
What?
You know, why is it in that plan? Okay, thank you.
I agree, it is in our documents, and years ago, we used to have a separate fund for that, and then we were told we couldn't do that. However, why wouldn't that money be part of, so when they sold the house, it would be part of the estoppel. If you don't pay your assessments, that bill would be added to that, so I think it could be done. And at one time, we weren't allowed to go on anybody else's property when we gave restriction, and now our documents do allow us to, if they're not living up to any of what our documents say, you should take care of your property, that indeed the board has the right to go on that property, clean it up, and then if they won't pay for it then it's part of when they sell the house, it would be part of the bill. So it could be done, and it is true. If you're living next to a house that's loaded and looks like that, and everybody else is taking it, it's very demeaning to those of us that take care of it. I think taking a negative attitude about it and saying, oh, well, send us a letter, it's in the documents, we should be doing it somewhere.
Ellie,
Yeah.
that was not, that particular thing that Eileen would like us to do was not on the agenda for today's meeting. So what I'm saying is she needs to write a letter to come to us to put it on next time's agenda. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
What, for you to vote on it?
Not today. We have to have it on our agenda
Oh, so
for
you're
the
willing to,
November 1st, whatever the November 1st Friday is. For that meeting. Is it November 1st? Okay, for the November 1st meeting.
but John feels it's not worth the effort, is that what you thought?
Ellie, we're not discussing it today. We are going to wait until November 1st after Eileen submits a letter or another resident.
I will put it on for the next agenda. I will put it on our next meeting.
Because we've talked about this, and I'm glad the board is considering doing something about it.
Thank you.
Chris Dabrowski. Just to settle it very easily, call county code enforcement, they'll come in and mow, and the homeowner gets charged between $250, $300 every mow.
Thank you.
Yes, they do.
Okay, we're moving on to correspondence. The first correspondence is a complaint concerning committees, and I don't believe the person who submitted it is here. So we're not going to discuss that today. And Mr. Spangler already had his saying on the cell tower, and he's gone. So the last correspondence is 8210 San Felipe. Paula DePace would like to speak to us.
Good afternoon. My original, is this on?
Yeah. Speak, you have to speak right into that mic, right next to your mouth.
Hold on. Okay, I have just a question there. Are you looking into new management companies? Property management companies?
Not at this time.
You're not, so you're gonna stay with? who you're
Until our
with?
contract runs out, and it hasn't.
When is that? Do you know?
Kelly, do you know when our,
Maybe next January.
okay.
This January coming.
Uh-huh.
So you're not gonna, your plans are not to look for a new management company, your plans are to stay here?
Well, we had a meeting this summer, of course, you weren't here for that, with Kelly, and addressed our concerns, and they have been since corrected, the concerns that we had as a board. So we decided that we would hang in there with them until anybody, after January wants to, or before January, I guess.
Well,
Before the first of the year.
Okay, but who would that anybody be? That would,
The new board that comes on.
but they're not coming on till April.
No, it would be this board, yeah.
It would be you guys.
Yep.
So you're all happy with this company?
Right now, yeah.
And everything we've been through as far as the lighting goes and the signs and all that stuff.
Well, that has nothing to do with the company, with the.
Well, my thing is who's running the, which is, from my understanding.
John is not our PM, he's just an employee of theirs.
Right, well, who's making the decisions as far as the lighting goes and the board, the mess?
The board makes
So
all
you
decisions.
all the decisions.
Yes, yes.
Ah.
That's what you voted for us for, to help make the
Boy, I'm
decisions.
telling you. Well, my original thing was that I really wanted to form some kind of committee, a residents committee for the people here, for everybody in Timber Rose, and have a committee that find a new management company and let us find the new management company and then present with like 3 people, maybe 3 companies that you guys could decide.
That's our normal
That was
procedure.
my original thing, was allowing us residents in on the decision and not you guys. Let us find the company. Let us find, like, say I want to get like 7 people up. We're gonna all sit around and we're gonna find a management company. We nail it down to 3 and we send it off to you. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
There's a lot of committees here in Timber Oaks, you know what I mean?
I will say this, Paula, we did meet with our management company. It was not only Kelly, it was the owners and vice president. They were very concerned with what we had to say. We did bring up things about John. You didn't hear that, John? We brought up things about John. We brought up things about the woman that drives around. They were very receptive to what we had to say. I also have to tell you this, that before I got on the board, I wasn't too happy with John. I had heard a lot of things. Once you're on the board, you find out what he actually does around here. And I've been impressed. There's things that we aren't even aware of that he has done for the betterment of Timber Oaks. I mean, things that, retention ponds that the county is saying you have to take care of, and he's fighting with them to make things better in Driftwood, across the street here. There's a lot of things that are done that you are not aware of. If you have concerns about John, talk to him. Find out what your concerns are, find out what you don't agree with, and find out if he's doing anything, or if it's even his responsibility and not the board's.
Well, I just seem like that from what you hear and you see, and Ellie takes great notes, and just reading her notes and stuff, because I'm not here in the summer, like you said, but I do come in on some board meetings. It's just that it just seemed, I just felt like it was a lot on him and the things that had happened here and not you guys.
And to be honest with you, there are so many things that are put on Facebook that
Well, it's
as a
not
board member
Facebook, it's
now-
Ellie, it's Ellie. Well, I can't say Facebook, I'm gonna say Ellie because she keeps really good notes and, and she.
And I love
talks
you
the
dearly,
truth.
Billy, but there are times when things get confusing and then other people add to it and it becomes totally untrue. Not just, and I'm not saying Ellie does this, I'm saying the conversations that trickle down, it's like whisper down the alley when we were kids. And by the end of it, what's being said had nothing to do with the beginning of it. Seriously, and if you have concerns and you don't want to go to John,
Well,
go to the board members, go to a board member and let them find out what's really going on.
okay, well, I did have an encounter with John last summer, and, you know, I still have that in the back of my head because it was very unprofessional the way he spoke to a resident that I was witness to, and he harassed, actually it was harassment. And he really needs to pay attention to that and not antagonize the residents and stick to his job.
Thank you. Go ahead, Sue. Sue has something to say.
I've been on the board longer than anyone else on the board. This will be 8 years out of the last 10 that I've been on the board. And one thing I've learned is ignore Facebook. And if you have a question, take it to a board member, take it to the office. Because what so-and-so says is not necessarily true. More than yes, it is wrong. The things that they say that can be done by a board member cannot. This board functions as a group. Just because one board member wants something doesn't mean it happens. We are the ones in control. Like they talked about the lights, that was the board. And if you really want to know what's going on and what's happening, run for the board. Be one who becomes part of a board. So you know exactly what's going on. So if somebody says to you, why did that stupid so-and-so do that? It's because the board told them to do that.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dale.
Dale Thompson and Cheetah Drive, and I really am sick of people blaming Facebook. If you don't want to go on Facebook, don't go on and you won't know what we're saying. I made the big mistake of inviting board members on to Facebook, and then Ellie followed suit after me. I wished I had never done it, and I wish Ellie hadn't done it. Because Facebook is a place to me where we can go and maybe find out the truth. I know there's 2 people on Facebook that can foul up a free lunch. I don't even know what the woman's talking about half the time. We'll put something on there, and the next thing you know, she's got this off-the-wall comment going on, and I'm like, what the heck is she talking about? Other than that, I am a firm believer of coming to the board meetings and finding out the truth. I don't want to just listen to Facebook. If I put it on Facebook, I believe it's true, and if I find out I was wrong, I will be the first one to go on there and say I was wrong. What I don't like is the fact a lot of people on Facebook, and not only Facebook, right out here in the hall, in the pool, have been complaining about resource management. And John and I know we've had a few different run-ins. And I could go on for an hour about my problems with this situation, but I won't. What I will have a problem with management, and I don't know if it's management or the board, is that you can sit up there and talk about finding somebody for their yard and their shrubs when this was all ripped out. This is so disgusting. It's supposed to be done by the end of April, and if it isn't, I would sure like to fine us $50 a day until it's fixed.
They're going to start on that Monday. Go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry Beers, Monterey, 3326. I'll make it short and sweet. I had my difference with John, but I still respect John. I think John does a lot of good here, and a lot of things do get blamed on him. But we all need to change in respecting other people. Maybe he may not speak right to somebody, and some people he may. But guess what? We all speak that way. And all I say is, if you want to change, try and talk to a board member or run for the board, because you're going to see there's 2 sides, the audience side and the board side. And the other thing, but I do say on that resource, I don't have a problem with resource, But I think for the benefit of Timber Oaks, you should always search out for other companies to see what ideas that are out there and bring them back to resources and say what's going on. Because you have to give them a notice, I believe. It's like, well, I think a 90-day notice, and if their contract's up in January, you're stuck. So, I mean, but it doesn't hurt to look around and find out what's out there and then come back with them. Because you guys do represent Timber Oaks, and I think for the best of Timber Oaks, you guys should do research out there. Thank you.
We do. Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oh, I'm saying Barry wants to say something first.
I hesitate saying anything because I don't stir anything up, but I tell you what, I used to say it's easy to stay under the radar if you're not doing anything. And I gotta say one thing, I've lived here since '89 and gone through a lot of property managers. And I've seen more happen under John than I've seen in most of them. And you may not always agree with the guy, but go in his office and sit down and talk to him. He's more than happy to talk to you. He's a good guy. I believe honestly, he wants to do the right thing. He's not wanting to do the wrong thing. And I think if you just go ahead and sit down and talk to him, you could probably resolve your differences with him. But the guy is doing a lot around here. I mean, he's doing a lot around here. So give him some credit. He deserves it.
Sure, go ahead, Ed.
I'd like to say just one thing. It's not you versus us. We're all residents. The board is elected to be your representative. We're you. We all own property here. We're you. We're not against you. We're all the same. We're just trying to do the best for you that we can. That's why we're here.
Thank you. Okay. Now can I have a motion to adjourn? Second, okay. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Motion of meeting adjourned. Is there any open forum? Anybody want to get up and discuss anything? We have a couple people.
Yeah, just about the management company.